Hey FLOSSTUBE, what's up? It's Leigh from Creative Leigh on Sunday the 31st of January 2021. A month down already. Wow, that went fast. Welcome back to returning viewers to my FLOSSTUBE channel. Anyone who's popped in here unexpectedly or really, welcome. So mostly this is a little update on cross stitching, a little bit of life stuff, and yeah, just me sharing my passion and interest in cross stitching with the world. So what's been going on? Today's a lovely day. It's just absolutely perfect summer, no wind, lovely fluffy clouds in the sky. It's really lovely, so that's something to be grateful for. I'm just back from having lunch with friends. I made bagels. I made a double batch of bagels today and took them around to friends and they put together all the bits and pieces to go on top. So had a late lunch with them. We just played a couple of board games and now come home to get this video up and then to carry on with the rest of my day. Dad's doing good. We've organised, I'm heading up there late March. We're going to go to Bill Bailey, comedian in Tauranga, which is about an hour and a half's drive from where Dad lives. So I'll drive up there on a Wednesday. I need to talk to my boss about taking some days off. It'll be fine. Then we'll go to the show on Thursday, and then he's going to come back with me and head home after Easter. So we'll drive back down, and then we booked a flight the other night for him to fly back to Rotorua, and someone will pick him up. And then I think that one of my stepbrothers, Mark, and his partner coming up from Christchurch for a little bit after that. So yeah, that's the plans for March, late March, early April. And we had sad news yesterday. Dad's cousin passed away after her reasonable, it wasn't like terribly long but not terribly short battle with cancer, and passed away peacefully at home yesterday. So that's very sad, but she had got very ill in the last few weeks, so now she's at peace, I guess. I think that they're going to have a private funeral, so I'm probably not going to head up especially or anything, so it'll be up in Whakatane. But yeah, thoughts are with my cousins and Dad, everybody who's lost their loved one, really. What else have I been doing? Just between work and stuff, just been keeping really busy. We'll get into some stitching. I had an FFO. Actually, kind of, it's 3 FFOs, but into one. I'm giving it the old, I've got some glue from the tape. So I finally got around to getting my laundry series from Hands-On Design into a frame. So this is just a, bought it on sale frame with 3 5x7 mats in it, and I did a reasonable job of stretching them and getting them in. I cut the mats, I cut the boards slightly too big, so I had to sort of squish them in there, but and because I used I can't remember what it's called, not mat board, I used foam core. It's a bit of a tight squeeze in there, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. Of course it's got normal glass, so it's going to be lovely and reflective, but yeah, I'm very happy with that. So in case you missed when I finished these, I finished the last one at the retreat on 31st of October. I think I stitched them September, October of last year. They're on 32 count white Belfast, and I did a partial conversion. I swapped out the teal and green for orange and red, and I swapped the neutral for something a little bit more, less green, I guess. Yeah. So it's 3 pieces, but yeah, one FFO. So I almost have a second FFO, but I need to find some trim, and I haven't found the right trim yet, so you have to wait hopefully next week. Oh, another finish. It's gin and tonic because it's like 4 o'clock on a Sunday, but it's the last of my gin baubles. I took my Christmas tree down like a couple of weeks ago, but I still hadn't quite finished all of the gin baubles from the tree, so I had 1 box. So I just this is the last of the baubles. So the last box of baubles can go into the wardrobe where the Christmas decorations go. Yay! So that's another. This will be another finish. As you can probably see by what I'm going to call this video, I did a lot of border stitching this week. So I got no new stash. I mean, I visited Country Stitch. I visited Catherine at Country Stitch yesterday. I took a friend from work along to introduce her, so she ordered a couple of pieces of fabric, and I added to my wish list. But I just got a handful of DMC, but to work on a couple of projects. But anyway, other than that, no new stash. But I did pick up Hoity Toity a couple of weeks ago. You saw this, and I was I'd stitched to the top of these carnation-y kind of flowers here on each side, and I'd done this bit, but I had to still do this bottom bit, so below that line. So I've stitched all of that, and then I stitched all the way up, so I've just got that top bit of border to do. Those of you who are stitching this know there's a lot of border, there's a lot of black fill in, but because I'm using PR 070 from Silks For You, kindly gifted to me by the lovely Barb. It's because it's silk, it's beautiful, and it just slides through really lovely. So yeah, this is on 36 count Feijoa linen from Country Stitch. It's a partial conversion. It's all DMC apart from the black, which is that silk. I originally did my first conversion was a bigger conversion, as in I'd swapped more threads from what the equivalent DMC for the called for fancy floss had in the chart. As I've started stitching, I have changed some things back to what were called for DMC. So I can't actually remember what's changed and what hasn't, but it's mostly what's called for DMC with a couple of tweaks in the greens, I think. Mostly the greens and a couple of the yellowy colours, yeah. So that is a good bit of progress made. I also picked up my Red Deer sampler and finished the border. Where you saw this last, I hadn't done the top row, so I picked that up and the last couple of days and got that all finished. I'm making, so this is almost just like a 99% conversion to mostly Victorian Motto. The colour is going to look quite different to both the called for and the original sampler, and I'm making changes. I'm not going to point out every single change. There are some of the corners, because they're not all the same, I've just tweaked them a little bit where I've turned. Some of the flowers have called for, they have all these little highlights, and I've stitched all of them so that the little dots and the centres are the same colour. The bottom half of the charts are mostly that, but the top half of the chart is mostly 2 colours are stitched and those highlighted, and I'm just like, I just made it consistent, so whatever the dots were called for, I then stitched the centre as well. So I'm just making tweaks to it. Yeah, I'm just going to change little bits as I go. Nothing massive, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. So that is, yeah, another great amount of border stitching. It's a big border, but it's so repetitive. I mean, all you're doing is changing the colour of the flower other than that, and it wouldn't matter if you stitched the wrong because they're random. So, but you know, it's just really repetitive, and once you know the pattern, you don't need to look at the chart. You just go, okay, what's the next colour, and then go ahead with that. And then I felt like a new start, because I've just been feeling like starting all the things in January, and I picked up Emily's House from Lindy Stitches that I'd had this chart for ages. I'm not taking out the plastics, I want to be able to give it away again. And I'm stitching this on, I'm stitching this on 36 count parchment from Victorian Motto, and I'm doing a partial conversion, but it's mostly the called for. And I started this on Sunday, and I decided to stitch the border. Now the border calls for Brethren Blue. I didn't use Brethren Blue, I used a Victorian Motto, but it's very similar by all accounts to what's called for. And again, this is a repeat, this border, and it's really quick for me to stitch, and I got the words done at the bottom. So really happy with that. So that is a new start. So yeah, all border stitching pretty much this week. And I am very happy with the progress that I made. I forgot to say what Red Deer was on. So Red Deer Sampler by Gigi is on 36 count pumice from Country Stitch, and yeah, my own conversion. And that was my birthday start on the 18th. So that's, yeah, the original, the vintage sampler, antique sampler, was very dark. So my greenery is a lot lighter than what is on this design. I like the dark, but I just didn't have anything, so I've gone lighter, a lighter green. And I'm going to stitch the deer last, because I like to torture myself. And in case you haven't seen it for a long time, they're Hoity. So yeah. So that's all my stitching. So I'm going to sign off, and as always, be safe, enjoy your stitching, may it bring you comfort and joy. Sounds like a Christmas song, and until next week, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.